Making headlines tonight, a new organization launched with an aim of bringing out the star quality in the nation's youth. The Small Business Development Center to be rebranded. Local artists being encouraged to collaborate. And coming up in sports, TKR lose for the first time in the 2019 CPL, going down to Carlos Brathwaite's Patriots in the Super Over.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
I am Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. After almost 30 years, the Barbados Youth Service has been replaced by the Barbados Youth Advance Corps. Government has allocated $20 million over the next 2 years and 2.5 years to the new initiative. Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment, Adrian Ford, expects the new 2-year Youth Advance Corps will bring out what he termed the star quality in Barbadian youth. He says young people should be given every opportunity to have a tangible stake in the development of Barbados.
This new Youth Corps, Youth Advance Corps, will allow our young people in numbers to have a safe and productive space. And what we have decided to do is to incorporate a teaching schedule which will lend itself to the development of our young people in the areas of agri-science, in the areas certainly of robotics and technology. We are saying to our young people they'll be training as it relates to psychosocial development, as it relates to national interests.
The Barbados Youth Advance Corps is open to young people between the ages of 16 and 23. It provides a mixture of training and work experience. Students will also benefit from a stipend of $600 per month. Minister Ford says the first intake will commence soon.
And I'm happy to say it will start on the 22nd of September because we're going to have 4 cohorts a year. Each cohort attracting between 200 and 250 young persons. I am happy to say that the response has been phenomenal. We have had over 300 applicants in a matter of weeks, and the numbers grow every single day. Young persons want to be involved in this new advanced Corps, where we advance their lives, and especially
Permanent Secretary Yolande Howard says the Youth Advance Corps is an enhancement to the Barbados Youth Service and that every young person in the program will be assessed. 5 areas of training have been identified as essential for the participants.
Those 5 areas are digital transformation, health and social care, agri-science, design, and construction. And so during the residential phase of 6 weeks, those young persons are going to go through orientation in these 5 areas. They will also be exposed to a number of social activities. We will be using sports as development, and sports is a tool that we use in social interventions. And they will be exposed to sports to help in also building discipline and responsibility and sociability.
Mrs. Howard says several courses have been developed with assistance from the Ministry of Education and its various institutions.
Where there are programs that have been accorded national and Caribbean vocational qualifications by the TVET Council, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Council, those young people will be able to leave with that certification. And for example, we have courses in construction. There will be the traditional courses of carpentry and joinery, masonry and plumbing. We will also be offering opportunities for training in photovoltaic installation, and that comes with a Caribbean vocational qualification.
4 years after its launch, Barbados Small Business Development Center Network is to be rebranded. This announcement from Minister of Small Business and Entrepreneurship Dwight Sutherland. The Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme and more recently the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology are local examples of small business development centers or SBDCs, which provide a wide range of services to help develop small businesses. Minister Sutherland says the National SBDC Network, as it's now known, will soon become SBDC Barbados.
The idea is for academia to provide the relevant research and development interventions to promote credible capacity and institutional building options and operational efficiencies within our MSME sector, while the private sector will provide innovative financing solutions, mentorship, and enterprise engagement to our most vulnerable MSMEs. Additionally, a reconfigured SBDC framework will see the establishment of a national steering committee under the chairmanship of Senator Lynette Holder of the SBA, whose invaluable experience and expertise is being sought at a juncture where time is of the essence.
Minister Sutherland was speaking before signing a memorandum of understanding with the Organization of American States concerning the establishment of a Caribbean network of small business development centers. He believes through collaboration, MSMEs in the region will be better able to leverage opportunities which otherwise may be out of their reach.
The Barbados scenario, though not quite so alarming, reported that through the SBDC initiatives, MSMEs were able to reach US $1.2 million in increased sales and access to over US $700,000 in new capital, while in 2018, MSMEs have access to over $730,000 in technical assistance and $2.9 million in loan financing in the region. And we want to thank the OAS again and the strategic partners for investing in our region. The Barbados situation pretty much shows that of the wider Caribbean and clearly demonstrates that with a more structured program, as will occur, guided by the signing of this MOU, a platform would have been established for significant MSME development.
As Barbados prepares to cash in on what's being described as the next frontier of economic development, artists have been told that collaboration is key to their success going forward. Culture Minister John King also told them now is the time for self-reflection. Lisa Broom has more.
Over the next 2 days, the local artistic community will be examining ways of improving conditions in their industry. But before they can start to reap any benefits that can accrue, Culture Minister John King thinks they need to unite.
Every other sector, believe you me, if it is doctors, to manufacturers, to whoever else, they all have organizations and representative bodies that they can go to, that they use to negotiate on their behalf.
He's also appealing to them to settle their issues in private rather than using social media, and to do some self-reflection to see what they can do to help themselves.
We also have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what have we done to further our own cause over the period of time? Where are we now as a group? Are we collaborating enough to get the best out of everything?
Chief of Operations of the Inter-American Development Bank, Francisco Javier Ura, is suggesting that the cultural industries have a greater role to play in the world economy than the $2 to $4 billion they contribute each year. And in an era where sustainable development is essential, Mr. Ura says the cultural industries are among the only economic contributors that have no negative impact on the environment.
So I think if we can talk about figures of GDP and so on, creative industries has a bonus, has a plus that has to be put into the table. We are not only promoting economic growth or promoting economic trade through creative industries, we are making our communities, our peoples, our local villages, our most favorable people in that having opportunities for growth.
The IADB is one of the sponsors of the 8th Inter-American Meeting of Ministers of Culture and Highest Appropriate Authorities, which begins tomorrow. Over 150 artists, political figures, and other officials are expected to attend. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Through its overseas missions and its envoys, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been promoting the upcoming Vision 2020 regathering to the diaspora. According to Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott, one of the latest promotion efforts was conducted during a recently held Q in the Community in New York.
Prime Minister and myself did a town hall meeting earlier this year also in London, in which we spoke about the Vision 2020 and the homecoming of Barbadians. And the plan is to go to a number of cities and encourage Barbadians to come home. The missions are working in terms of a database and encouraging people to reach out to their friends and relatives in those countries, encourage them to come home. Throughout the years, you know, there's a calendar which has been established. And so all work is integral to that of the unit within the Prime Minister's office in terms of the Vision 2020.
Checking in with our regional neighbors now, a spate of murders involving teenagers has a community in Belize on edge. Investigations are continuing into the double murder of two cousins, both minors, who were shot following a squabble with two other minors. One of them, listen to this, just being 13 years old. Police are considering extending a curfew across the country. Channel 5 reports.
What the police know so far is that Delgado, along with Herman Valladares, were hanging out in that area when they were approached by two persons, where an argument ensued, and as a result, one of those persons pulled out a firearm and fired at Delgado. As a result, Valladares was also fired upon, and he too, in an attempt to escape from the area after he was fired upon, was caught up by those two persons, and he too was shot.
According to Delgado, his nephew Herman was returning from delivering flour tortillas for his mother when the deadly encounter occurred.
I hear they come to drop some tortillas, and them come together, but look like them buy in this area. Yeah, that's all I'm here. They come from go sell tortillas because my nephew he make flour tortillas and they go drop it in a Chinese shop now. He said they come from drop some tortillas.
The suspects, a pair of teenagers of Salvadoran nationality, are being sought in connection with the murders. It is believed that the incident may have been gang-related.
In relation to this,
a young mechanic in Jamaica isn't letting his disability stop him from doing his trade. He was born with no hands but has achieved a lot and is a well-sought-after mechanic in Kingston, as we hear from TVJ.
Nakwin has been repairing vehicles for over 15 years.
I can rebuild an engine, front end, transmission, gearbox. As I said, you name it.
It's a trade he learned through apprenticeship. He says from a young age, he's been very handy.
The first bicycle I own, I never get it free. I have to make it. I used to play marble. I used to ride bike, bicycle, skate, you name it. Everything a younger kid have fun with, I was there.
He travels across the island as far as Montego Bay to carry out his trade. Nakwin says when new clients are skeptical about his capabilities, he lets his work do the talking.
A client come to me the other day. When she come, she was shocked. When she finished and she get her vehicle, she called me. She gave me a lot of thumbs up. She said she never believed in what she heard.
But this enthusiasm wasn't developed overnight. Nakwin says growing up, he faced a lot of negativity.
People used to look at me and say, him can't manage, him now go get to do it. So we use them thing there, them negative stuff there, and push it forward, boost up our energy to prove them wrong.
Now Nakwin's dream is to be his own boss. However, he's facing a challenge.
Really expand the business as all I want it, but I love to get my driver's license.